Hello, I'm SMB Collector. When I was younger, I got a near complete set of the awesome Mario Kart 64 action figures. And I tore them all open! And I tore them all open. And I tore them all open. Oh man, I'd love to have a sealed set of those now, but at least I had some unforgettable times playing with them as a kid. And it wasn't just the Mario Kart 64 ones. My Diddy Kong Racing figures always joined in too, and so did my Donkey Kong Country figures. I wouldn't mind having those sealed again either, but the memories. I just have to remind myself about the memories. It was worth it. It was worth it. Then in 2008, July 19th, 2008 to be exact, I stumbled upon some new Mario figures at Hot Topic, and still having those of the past in my mind, I knew I wanted to get a complete set and keep them all sealed, as had become standard practice for me. It wasn't too long before I accomplished my goal, but enough preambling, let's start taking a look at the character selection. Of course there's Mario, and he looks just as he should, except in one regard. Where are the accessories? Where's the 11 points of articulation? Hey, this isn't an action figure, it's just a figure in action figures clothing. I don't know what disappoints me more, that Popco, the company that made these, were so close to making a good action figure line and fell short, or that later on they released this giant static Donkey Kong and labeled it an action figure. Trust me, you can call these whatever you want, but this is not an action figure. Anyways, accepting these for just the nice figural representations of Mario characters that they are, they still were something to be excited about, and they do have a few minimal points of articulation for anyone wondering. Next we have Luigi, and as is true with all these figures, it's a very good resemblance, reminding me of how he looked in Mario Party 4 and games like that. Yoshi was one of the figures I absolutely had to get, since he was the only Mario Kart 64 figure I didn't get when they were still in stores. Peach and Toad were two characters that I also really wanted to get, since they were selectable players in Mario Kart 64 itself, but not a part of the action figure line. And though Toad was included this time around, Peach unfortunately wasn't the final character. That honor went to Donkey Kong. He's okay, I guess. After this wave, several re-releases occurred, chock full of variations. Now, I won't lie, things get confusing from here. I was really into it back then and tried to keep lists of everything, but I still can't really wrap my head around all these different versions, so I won't get too in-depth here. One subsequent release, possibly the first, has all new companies listed, including Goldie, Banpresto, and Global Holdings. I'm not entirely sure, but I think Banpresto released the original figures like these in Japan, and then Goldie made them for other countries, like the United States, with Global Holdings as the distributor, but I don't know, that's all boring business stuff. I can't even guess which companies were responsible for the bootlegs. Want to see my Luigi figure? It's totally not just Mario painted like Luigi, it's really actually him, really. Hey, this re-release has the nerve to start calling them action figures, just when I got over the fact that they aren't action figures. These are also apparently more dangerous than the older ones, saying that you've got to be a whole year older to play with them. I don't see anything dangerous about them. Later on, I believe, we're into the year 2009 by the way, Goldie's name got dropped from the package. Their alliance with Global Holdings and Banpresto apparently severed. I probably wouldn't have bought any of these, since I already owned one of each character, but right on the front it demanded that I collect them all. I wasn't looking for any trouble, so I just started doing as they said. I was 3 figures in before I found out that this was an empty threat, and that neither of these toys nor any associated companies would actually harm me or my family if I didn't comply. Some toy websites showed other variation packagings for their stock images, but the packages I've shown are all that I'm aware of ever actually getting released, though there very well could have been more. By now, I was waiting for a second wave of characters to be made. There were rumors of Fire Mario, Wario, Peach, Hammer Brother, and a 2-pack of Goomba and Paragoomba all in the works, but these never came to be, or at least not exactly. At a later point, Banpresto and Global Holdings did release a wave of boxed figures that indeed introduced Wario, as well as 3 other Yoshi colors, yellow, pink, and light blue, but I wouldn't count this as a second wave really, particularly since it also had Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Green Yoshi again. Randomly out of nowhere, sometime the next year or so, Goldie released this Koopa Troopa in a wave all by itself, or at the very least is the only new character. I can't remember if others were repackaged to go along with it or not. It's much safer than the older ones evidently, so much so that even a 3-year-old can play with it. In addition to being safer, I'd gather it must be bigger than the other figures too, since it's now called a large figure. It sure doesn't look it. There doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason to all this stuff. Like on the back we're shown 11, count them 11 Mario characters, and yet none of them are the Koopa Troopa. But now I'm getting pretty far from this video's original intention, so I should probably cut things off here. Thanks for watching.